holidays are now upon us and you are thinking about all the things that you have to do, your long to-do list, all of the commitments that you have, and you're in the back of your mind going, I'm also supposed to homeschool through the holidays? How is that possible? How do I manage all of these things that I need to do, all the expectations, and to also enjoy the holiday season as well? Today, that's what we're going to talk about. I'm going to help you find the joy and help you to thrive this holiday season. Before we get started, welcome to my channel. My name is Leigh from Little by Little Homeschool, and right here I share tips and tricks behind the scenes, the reasons why we homeschool, just all of our convictions about it, how we actually do the whole homeschooling thing. If you have not already and you enjoy what you're seeing here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. But let's get started on today's video now. One last thing before we start talking about the holidays. If you are new to homeschooling, newish, maybe this is your first year or you're thinking about it, or possibly even you've been homeschooling for 5 years, more, less, somewhere in between, and you're feeling overwhelmed, don't know where to start, or you just need a refresh, do your homeschool, go ahead and check out the link down below. I offer a homeschooling program where I walk alongside you one-on-one. We get to work on your homeschool and get your family to a place where you are thriving in your homeschooling lifestyle. So check out that link and hopefully we can chat soon. Let's get to the holidays and how do we manage all the things. I don't know if you're like me, but I'm gonna kind of go out on a limb here maybe and assume you have a long to-do list, you have commitments with family, with friends, maybe your kids are involved with activities, you have Christmas programs, they have there's just all the things. And you also maybe have babies, they still need their diapers changed, there's still bedtimes, there's still meals to be made, there's still bathrooms that have to be cleaned, there's still homes that need to be taken care of. And sometimes it just feels so overwhelming when you need to add in all the holiday things. So how do we do it? Because now we have to homeschool as well. And when we go out there and we hear the music, we're, joy to the world. We're supposed to have so much joy and feel so much peace during this holiday season. And as moms, we can feel the opposite of that. We can feel so stressed out. And if we as moms feel stressed out, our children are going to feel that as well. We are not going to have the joy, the presence, the peace of Christ in us during the holiday season like we should. We want to teach them the things that, we know about the birth of Jesus and get them excited about that relationship with God. And it's really hard to do when we are feeling overwhelmed with everything that we have to do. So let's talk a bit today. I'm going to share some ideas and tips with you. Now, when you're done with this video, I want you to turn off all your social media. I want you to turn things off, and I want you just to get, let's go old-fashioned here. Get a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil, and I want you to write down what are the non-negotiable things for the holidays. Where do you have to be? What are the things that you need to do? Family obligations, friends, commitments that you have with your kids. What are the things that you have to do? Then take an honest look at that list. Do you have a lot of room to add in a lot of things? If you don't add in a lot of things. Maybe you don't have many commitments, and that's fantastic, and you can add in more things, more experiences, more whatever you want when it comes to the holiday season. But be realistic. The more you add, the higher your stress level is going to go. Are there things on that list that maybe you can kind of cut down? Maybe you can have somebody host with you a holiday event instead of you having to do everything. Pull in people to help out. And if you have kids, which if you're homeschooling you do, have them help out with all these things. So let's go into some ideas, and I want you to honestly think about them and which of these ideas will work for you. Maybe a combination of different ones will work best for you, or maybe one entire idea will work. So I really want you to personalize this and think about realistically, how can this work in your family? How can you, I don't want to say get through, but how can you go through the holidays, have joy during the time, have peace, enjoy it, because this time is meant to be a blessing for you as well, mom. It's not just a time for kids to enjoy or husbands or anybody else. It is a time for mom to enjoy the holiday season too. So let's talk about how do we homeschool through the holidays, and I want you to come up with an idea with a plan, but I also, number one here, I want you to be flexible. I want you to recognize that if something is becoming overwhelming, adding something in is becoming overwhelming, ditch it. Become flexible with your times, with your days, and the whole everything. Understanding that when the holidays are done and you're able to breathe, you can get back into your routine. Your kids are not going to suffer. They aren't going to flunk out of homeschool because you take a step back during the month of December. Now, when I talk about some of these ideas, adding in things, I want you to also take a look. Don't just add things in. Take things away if you need to. Don't add more to the day if there is no more space to add anything to it. Overall, I want you to do what is best for you and your family this holiday season. Recognizing that different seasons in life are different in every holiday season. When I had little kids, it felt very overwhelming. They were involved in like church choir and church programs, and there was just so many different things, and they still had so many needs that I needed to meet, and it felt overwhelming. Now that my kids are older, I actually, this holiday season, plan to kind of homeschool a bit the same. We'll take some time off for, you know, Thanksgiving and Christmas, but it isn't going to be as insane as it has in years past. So recognize that there are different seasons, and recognize that if this holiday season you need to significantly scale back on your homeschool, do not think that that's what it's going to look like. Next year could be different. Maybe it's the same. Maybe you need to scale back for a few years when you have a bunch of little kids. Do that. Recognizing that as they get older, it does get easier. They take more responsibilities. They're more responsible for things for themselves. They can take care of themselves much more. So just because you have a holiday season or a couple of holiday seasons where you have to adjust greatly because of homeschooling and just all your commitments, don't think it's always going to be like that. So they're not going to flunk out of homeschool because you take it easy this holiday season. They will get older and it will get easier. One idea for this December is to take the entire month off. I know of homeschooling families who do this. They adjust their, you know, days that they're going to do homeschool, and they might start earlier for the school year, start in August, they might go later. Now, to some people, this sounds radical and extreme, but for some families, this is the perfect compromise. They're able to get done what they need to. They can add more of an unschooling approach, which overall, feel free to add more of an unschooling approach if that's not what you normally do during the holiday season. But some families enjoy taking the entire month of December off so that they can focus just on the holiday season and just adding in different experiences, volunteer opportunities, which we'll get to all of that kind of stuff. But that is an idea. Don't knock it till you try it, maybe, but know that that is an option. And maybe even if you don't take the whole month off, maybe you take off 2 weeks. Recognize you have some traveling to do, work around that. Another option is to drop the extras. Drop the art class, the music class, unless they have music lessons. Drop the science, drop the history, drop the extra subjects, geography, those things that are adding a little bit more to your days. Focus on those couple of subjects, math and just in the English, whether it's, you know, writing in the language arts and reading, spelling, depends upon your kids, but focus on maybe the math and the English, and you can just let the rest of the things go, understanding that you will pick back up with those come January after the holiday season. Another option, instead of completely cutting out some of those extra subjects, is to replace them. Maybe your art focuses more on arts and crafts during the holiday season. Maybe it focuses on creating and making gifts for other people. Maybe your history, you steer instead to focusing on the biblical times and the Bible story of Jesus and the historical context instead of what you've been doing. And then just put those subjects aside. You can, again, pick back up with them come January. Don't worry about it. You will get to all of those things, but feel free to kind of substitute those for other type of subjects. Maybe you do unit studies instead. Just understand, you can be flexible. Remember, you get to make the rules when it comes to your homeschool. You get to make the rules of how your holiday season looks in your homeschool and in your family. Something else you can add in would be an Advent study. I did a recent video all about some different Advent resources that my family has used over the years. You can do a couple of those. I've been known to do that in the past, where we did one Advent study as a family in the evening, and then during the school day, we did another Advent study, one that I felt was maybe a little bit more appropriate, you know, geared towards school-mindedness. So that's an option as well, is that you can substitute things out. You can add in things like Advent, add in things that pull together this the holiday season. And that could include unit studies. There's some great things out there. Go ahead and just maybe get onto Pinterest, but maybe give yourself a time limit. Put in like Christmas unit study and whatever age, and tell yourself, oh, I'm gonna look for 10 minutes and I'm just gonna get what is the best of what I see out there. Because Pinterest can be, like, it can suck you in really deep, and don't get too overwhelmed with it. Maybe you find yourself this holiday season with really busy weekends. Go ahead and adjust your schedule during the week. Nobody says you have to do school 5 days a week during the holiday season. Maybe you don't want to take the whole month of December off, or even a few weeks off, but you want to be able to travel and do whatever it is, the busy stuff that you have going on the weekends, and not feel overwhelmed on the Friday or Monday. Take those Friday and Monday, take 4-day weekends, and go ahead and do school Tuesday through Thursday, or maybe a 4-day week, whatever works for you. Maybe you have a lot of stuff going on Sundays. You're like, I just want to take Monday off. Go ahead, do school Tuesday through Friday. And again, those school days can look however you want them to be. They don't have to be full school days either. Another option, tying in what I mentioned earlier about just focusing on math and just your different English studies, is that you can then add in a loop schedule. That way you don't feel like, okay, I want to add in arts, Christmas arts and crafts, and I want to add in an Advent, and I want to add in a historical study, or maybe our read alouds or something that has to do with Christmas. Go ahead and put those on a loop schedule. Nobody said you have to do all of those every single day. Start to include fun things. Go ahead and spend a day baking cookies, maybe even a couple of days baking cookies. You don't have to do them straight in a row. You can do them, once a week we're gonna bake cookies. Once a week we're gonna do a movie day and watch. I just know that we've had a lot of Christmas movies that we wanna get to the holiday season and we don't always get to those. So go ahead and say on one school day, we're gonna watch Christmas movies. We're gonna make popcorn and we're gonna bake cookies. You can do whatever you want. So you can create those fun experiences for your kids, and nobody says that movies have to just happen in the evening. They can happen at 10 o'clock in the morning, everybody on the couch watching a Christmas movie. There are a lot of great Christmas books, whether your kids are still reading picture books or there's chapter books. The one movie that I try to watch with my kids, they're all older now, is it The Greatest Christmas Pageant Ever? Something like that, the movie. The movie is hilarious and I actually enjoy it. So we'll read the book each year and watch the movie again, but there's just a lot of different movies you can watch. And if you're not into movies, that's fine too. Read books. You can do game schooling. Have you ever heard of game schooling, where your days consist of games? Maybe you as the mom are busy and you're like, I just need a day to work in the kitchen. I have a lot of cooking to do and I love my kids, but I just don't have the time right now today for them to be involved in this. We'll do it another day. Give your kids a bunch of games. Give them options of games and let them do a game schooling day themselves. Nobody said you have to get involved in that. Try to find a balance of where you can get what you need to get done, but you also then have time to enjoy your days through the holiday season. Remember, there is freedom in homeschooling, and it's probably one of the reasons that you are homeschooling, or it's one of the reasons you are now homeschooling because you realize that you find freedom. Don't bog yourself down this holiday season with having to keep your routine, your rhythm, your schedule, whatever you have to your days. Don't feel like you have to keep to that. There is freedom in it. Let things go that need to be let go of, knowing that you will then pick them back up in January and your kids will be fine, I promise you. Use this opportunity during the holiday season. A lot more organizations will have volunteer days. There's a lot more opportunities. This year, my kids and I, one of our school days is gonna be, we're gonna go over to our church and help out with their Operation Christmas Child. That's school that day. I'm not gonna add anything else to the day. My kids naturally read a lot, so I know that they're gonna probably read that day as well, but I don't even feel guilty at all that that is going to be our homeschool day. Look for places for them to volunteer. How can they help out at different organizations? How can they help out neighbors? Maybe you have a neighbor who needs help getting decorated the outside of their house for Christmas, the inside of their house. Look for opportunities and understand that that counts as a homeschool day, because those types of opportunities will mean so much more, and they will make more of an impact upon your children. The serving of other people and recognizing the needs and seeing how you can fill in those needs will mean so much more, make more of an impact upon your kids in their future. Now you might be saying, okay, Leigh, this all sounds good and great, but my family really thrives on having a rhythm, a routine to our days. I'm not saying you have to abandon those. You can still maybe do your morning time. Maybe you say, well, look, we're still gonna start at this time. Or maybe you have just evenings are so full of activities during the holiday season. You say, we're gonna start a little bit later. We're still gonna have our morning time. We're going to do our different reading. We're gonna add in a Christmas book, whatever it is. You can then alter it. It doesn't have to be, the routine doesn't have to be as long. You could do a shorter bit of a routine and give your kids more time in the afternoon. Just look for opportunities to be able to spend time with your kids. During the holiday season, we want to thrive. So if your family thrives on a routine, a rhythm, then don't stop any type of routine, rhythm. Adjust it, be flexible, work with what works for your family. And again, recognize that this season, when maybe you have little kids, is going to be, it might feel really crazy, but know that as they get older, like I said, my kids are all teens, and I'm looking at this holiday season and they don't have as many different activities as they did when they were younger, which is, it's kind of a bit nice. They're not involved in all the different things, but they have their own schedules, they have their own jobs, and they have all these different things that I am working around. But I don't really foresee myself needing to cut down on the school days. We'll cut back on maybe times that we travel. But I just want to encourage you to take a realistic look at what can you handle. Say to yourself, what can I handle this holiday season? And we're only going to do that. My kids are going to be fine if I don't continue with our set routine and then add all these things on top. Have fun with your kids this season. You are working so hard, Mama, at giving them a wonderful Christmas and sharing the good news of Jesus' birth with them. Don't let that be lost on you. don't forget to take time to focus on the reason for the season, that old cliche, but don't forget to take time to fill yourself up, to nourish your soul, to nourish your relationship with God during this holiday season. So I hope that those ideas helped you out, gave you, some kind of ideas, I guess, on what you can do. I'd be really curious to know, what do you do during the holiday season? How do you balance that with homeschooling? And if any of these ideas are ones that you think you're gonna do this holiday season, go ahead and put that in the comment section below, because I'd love to hear what you're doing, and I'd also love to hear what you've done in the past that has worked for you. But thanks for watching this video. It was great to be able to share with you today, and if you have not already, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.